You can change the video speed anytime to make it easier for you. Just click the playback speed option in settings and select your desired speed. A man who helped end World War II sooner, saving millions of lives. A man whose ideas led to the computers and smartphones we use today. But instead of being celebrated, he was punished. This is the story of Alan Turing, a genius who cracked secret codes, built the foundation of modern computing, and faced a tragic fate. And in this video, you will not only hear his incredible story, but also improve your English as you listen. Let's begin. The early years of a genius. Alan Matheson Turing was born on June 23, 1912, in London, England. From a young age, he was different. While other children enjoyed playing outside, Alan loved numbers, puzzles, and patterns. He could solve problems faster than his teachers expected. His parents were proud, but they didn't fully understand him. As a child, Alan often got lost in his thoughts. He was fascinated by machines. He once asked, could a machine think like a human? It was a question that would guide his entire life. When he was sent to boarding school, a school where students live, he struggled at first. He was not interested in subjects like Latin and history, but when it came to mathematics and science, he was unstoppable. He read advanced books and taught himself things that even some teachers didn't know. At school, he met Christopher Morcom, a boy who shared his love for science. They became best friends. Christopher encouraged Alan to dream big. Sadly, Christopher died from tuberculosis, a serious lung disease, at a young age. Alan was heartbroken, but he promised himself he would continue his work in science to honor his friend. A brilliant mind at university, Alan continued his education at Cambridge University, one of the best universities in the world. He studied mathematics and became known for his unique way of thinking. He was not just solving problems. He was creating new ideas. During his time at Cambridge, he worked on something extraordinary, a theoretical machine that could solve any mathematical problem if given the right instructions. This idea later became the foundation of modern computers. Today, we call it the Turing machine. But at that time, no one fully understood how important his idea was. In 1936, he published a paper that changed the world of mathematics and computing. His ideas were complex, but in simple words, he proved that a machine could be designed to follow logical steps to solve any problem. This was the beginning of what we now call computer science. Alan also spent time at Princeton University in the United States, where he continued his research. While in the U.S., he learned about cryptography, the study of codes and secret messages. This knowledge would later become crucial during World War II. The war begins. Alan Turing joins the fight. In 1939, World War II began. The world was in danger, and Britain needed a way to break the secret messages of Nazi Germany. The Germans used a machine called Enigma, which coded their messages so that no one could read them. It was said to be impossible to break. The British government needed the smartest minds to help, and they called Alan Turing. He joined a secret team at Bletchley Park, a hidden intelligence center where experts worked to break German codes. Alan quickly realized that solving the Enigma code by hand was too slow. The Germans changed the code every day, which made things even harder. He knew there had to be a faster way, and then he had an idea. Instead of people trying to break the code, what if a machine could do it? Alan started working on a device that could automatically test thousands of possible codes. This machine, which he called the bomb, became the key to breaking the Enigma code. By 1941, Alan and his team had found a way to decode German messages. This changed the course of the war. With this information, Britain could predict enemy attacks and protect their soldiers. Historians believe Alan's work shortened the war by at least 2 years and saved millions of lives. But despite his success, his work was kept secret. Nobody outside Bletchley Park knew what he had done. He was not given medals, fame, or recognition. He simply moved on to his next challenge. Looking ahead, even during the war, Alan was thinking about something even bigger, the future of machines. He started asking questions like, can machines learn? Can they think like humans? These questions would shape the rest of his life. In the next part of the story, we will explore how Alan's ideas led to the birth of artificial intelligence, his struggles after the war, and the legacy he left behind. The birth of artificial intelligence. After World War II ended in 1945, Alan Turing returned to his research. His next big idea? Teaching machines to think. He asked a question that would change the world. Can a machine be intelligent? Turing believed that if a machine could follow human-like thinking patterns, it could learn and make decisions. This idea was revolutionary. Today, we call this field artificial intelligence, AI. But back then, people didn't take it seriously. To test his theory, he designed what we now call the Turing test. The test worked like this. A human would communicate with both another human and a machine through written text. If the person couldn't tell which one was a machine, then the machine could be considered intelligent. Even today, the Turing test is used to measure AI capabilities. His ideas laid the foundation for modern computers, chatbots, and even the artificial intelligence we use in our daily lives. Without Turing, there might be no Siri, Alexa, or ChatGPT. But despite his genius, his life was about to take a tragic turn. The struggles begin. In 1952, Alan Turing's private life became the reason for his downfall. At the time in Britain, being homosexual, attracted to the same gender, was illegal. Turing was arrested for being in a relationship with another man. Instead of recognizing him as a war hero and scientific genius, the government treated him as a criminal. He was given 2 choices: go to prison or undergo chemical treatment, a forced medical process that was supposed to change his behavior. Turing chose the treatment, but it caused terrible side effects. It made him weak, affected his mind, and made him feel hopeless. The same country he had saved during the war had now turned against him. His security clearance was removed, meaning he could no longer work on secret government projects. His career, once full of promise, was now ruined. The tragic end. On June 8, 1954, Alan Turing was found dead in his home. He had eaten an apple poisoned with cyanide, a deadly chemical. Some believe it was suicide, while others think it was a tragic accident. He was only 41 years old. The world had lost a genius too soon, but his ideas would live on. It would take decades for people to realize the true impact of his work. A legacy that lives on. For many years, Alan Turing was forgotten, but in the late 20th century, scientists and historians started recognizing his contributions. Slowly, people began to understand that he was one of the greatest minds in history. In 2009, the British government officially apologized for how they treated him. In 2013, Queen Elizabeth II gave him a royal pardon, meaning his criminal record was erased. In 2017, a law was passed in the UK to pardon thousands of people who were punished in the same way. It was called the Turing Law, named in his honor. And in 2021, Alan Turing's face was placed on the £50 British banknote, a symbol of his importance. Finally, the world had given him the recognition he deserved. Final thoughts. The man who changed the world. Alan Turing's life was filled with brilliant struggle and injustice, but his idea survived. His work in computing, artificial intelligence, and code breaking still influences the world today. Every time we use a smartphone, a computer, or artificial intelligence, we are benefiting from Turing's genius. His story teaches us an important lesson. True genius is not always recognized in its time, but it can change the world forever.